Good morning, welcome to No Worries RVing. Today we're going to be installing this RV lock. It's a keyless lock for our RV, something we've been wanting to do. We bought this off of Amazon. If you look at the features of it here, it says it's a 10-minute install. We'll see about that. It's wireless. It's got a key fob remote, which would be nice. You can unlock it with a keypad, and it fits most trailers. So we're going to see if this fits ours. Do a quick unboxing here. We have some literature, 10% off coupon, a sticker you can put your combination on, it looks like, looks pretty nice. Looks like the instructions and how to program it on the back, and another place to write down your code. That must be a simple problem, everybody forgets their code. And looks like wrapped up, we have a key fob remote. And it looks like the lock mechanism itself. A strike plate. I'm not sure, we'll have to replace that or not, but it looks like the lock mechanism itself. Looks pretty beefy. Looks like inside here. There's a set of keys. So 2 keys, the lock itself, like a way to plug it in. It feels fairly heavy. I mean, it is an RV lock. It's not really meant to hold out everybody, but this may be pretty nice for us. So it comes apart there. Alright, so we're going to take the old lock off, first of all. And that's what the instructions say, I'm sure, to do. And see what we have. First step to install this new lock will be to remove these 4 screws from our existing handle, and they called this the back side of the door in the instruction, just so you can keep that as a reference. This is the back side, and this is normally the front side. That had me confused, but this is considered the back side. With the 4 screws removed, it looks like this thing just pops right off. There's the existing lock. It should just pop out, I'm hoping. Okay, I'm going to remove these 2 screws as well, looks like. Yep. Okay, with these 2 screws removed, the handle comes right out. So there's the existing lock. So you have to remove those 2 screws and the 4 screws that were on the back to get the. Now that I have the existing lock removed, as you can see, and the striker plate here, there's the inside of the door. There's where the striker plate was. Here's the outside of the door. You basically take what they call the outside of your lock here, you feed it into the hole here. You have to feed the wire in too. And on a if you notice this on mine, but I have to actually push on it a little bit for those holes to line up with the existing holes. Hopefully that's going to be okay to do that, because the next step, this will stay by itself. The next step installing this is to put your striker plate in. And use a couple of screws, these screws here, to hold the striker plate and basically the outside of the door handle in place. So I'll go ahead and put these screws in. Here's the lock so far with the striker plate in place. The outside of the lock is on, basically being held on by the striker plate. Next step is to install the inside of the lock, and there's going to be 4 screws that go in each of these holes and plug it in. The next step is to put the inside of the lock in place, and you have to be careful with this because there's, see this knob here, this is your deadbolt, and then this is your door. You want to make sure they both work before you put the screws, the 4 screws that hold it in place. Before you put those 4 screws in, you want to make sure both of those will bring out your deadbolt and your lock, and mine does, so we're good. So here we are with the 4 screws installed. The striker plate is in, and here's the outside of the lock. Default code for this is 1234, which we will have to change, but it seems to shut okay. So let's try it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, lock. And it is locked. Okay. So let's try to unlock it. 1, 2, 3, 4, unlock. And it seems to work fine. So that was the install of this RV lock. I'm going to try to program it now and see how easy that is. To program the new RV lock combination, you hold the 8 button down and the lock button at the same time, and it beeps. Then you type in the existing code, which is in our case is 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you type in the new code, which I'm not going to show you, and then you do that twice, then you hit the lock button and the remote is programmed. So now that we have it programmed, let's see if it works. I'm going to hit the new combination. And there it worked. And now it's unlocked. To program the key fob, you have to get the key fob out, and ours key fob has 2 different, see the black, it's got to unlock and lock, and the orange has got to unlock and lock. You can actually program 2 different remotes, so you have 2 doors on your camper, but we don't, we only have 1 door. So we're going to program both of these to open just the lock. And what you have to do here, you have to make sure it says fob is on, and then you have to push that. Oh, it says fob learn here. So you push this button in, and then you hit the unlock button, and it learned. Then you have to hit this button again, and that actually sets the key fob combination, or sets the key fob to this lock. So now I can lock it and unlock it with the key fob. You have to do this twice. When I did that for the orange, We'll do this for the black now. So hit the learn button, hit the unlock button, hit the lock button, and there it worked. Okay, now that we have it installed, it's an okay lock. It seems to be pretty hefty, but the only thing I don't like about it is that when these screws here are basically like a wood screw, and they attach to the other side of the lock. They're not threaded or anything. You just basically attach it into plastic. So if you really wanted to pull this off, it wouldn't be too hard, if somebody knew what they were doing, to just put a screwdriver in here and jam it off. The other thing I don't like about it is it kind of flexes a little bit. So I put some glue behind mine. I'm going to glue it down and see if that gets rid of that flex. You just can't seem to tighten it up enough. And I don't want to strip out these screws that just go into plastic. So we'll see how it works. It may turn out just fine. I like the features of it. The key fob and the combination lock are fantastic. That's what we wanted. Whether it's really, really secure, hey, the other lock really wasn't that secure either. So it's not a step up, but it's not a step down, but it's not a step up either. Let's put it that way. So we'll leave it go at that, and we'll give you more of a long-term update later on. So overall, yeah, I would buy this again. Maybe get a little bit better one. I don't know. The more expensive ones, or the better ones, so to speak, were a lot more expensive. You can add on another $100 to the price. So, whether it's worth it, who knows. But I think for now, this will be just fine for us. So thanks for watching.